name's 𝗟𝘂𝗲𝗍𝗶. Welcome to another video of mine about industrial design. I want to show you a little bit of basic perspective drawing techniques. We're going to start out first with one-point perspective. One-point perspective means we got one perspective point where all the vanishing lines go to. You see I have a horizon line drawn in the middle of the page, and then all the lines that go from those boxes in the front, they all go to the vanishing point in the middle of the page that I've selected here. All the other lines are either horizontal or vertical. All the vertical lines are parallel to each other, and all the horizontal lines are horizontal to each other. The only lines that go to somewhere else other than a horizontal or vertical position are the ones that recede in space to that vanishing point. With two-point perspective, again, I draw a horizon line, and in this case, I draw two vanishing points, one on the right and one on the left. So all my lines that recede off into space go either to the right or the left vanishing point. The other lines that I'm drawing here are verticals. They are all parallel to each other, since we only have 2 points in perspective for which the lines can recede to. Thus, the verticals are parallel. So whether the object is floating above you in space or anchored firmly on the ground, as the first object that I drew, the other lines recede in space, and the verticals stay vertical and parallel to each other. I'm just drawing another example because this one crosses over the horizon line, but the vanishing points remain the same. Again, the vertical lines are vertical for all the objects. Now, I'm dividing this box in half with an X across the points and a line that bisects the point where those two lines meet, and then drawing a line from the bottom through that point where it intersects the side of the cube to draw where the next cube is in perspective. I've even drawn in a little human there to show scale. The last type of perspective that I want to focus on, and the main type of perspective that I use when I'm drawing or sketching, is three-point perspective. So, as we started out with 1 point, 2 point, and progress on to 3 point, you guessed it, there's a third vanishing point. In this case, the third vanishing point is off the page. It's basically inside my belly button or behind me. You can see those lines that I've drawn clearly converge to some sort of vanishing point that's not drawn on the page. It's well below the page. So in this case, we've got the standard 2 vanishing points that we had on the right and the left that allow the lines to converge to that point, and we have a third one that's not drawn on the page because it would just be too exaggerated. Too much of a sort of fisheye look would be achieved, and you wouldn't get a realistic image of something you were sketching out. It would just be too warped or too skewed. So again here I'm drawing a floating brick, one and 2 other ones that are clearly anchored on the page. There's a couple of rules in three-point perspective that allow us to do some interesting things. Let's say you want to have 2 objects that are laying on the same surface or the same table, but they have different orientations to each other. How can we apply that inside the three-point perspective system? Well, we still have a vanishing point and some points on the right and the left. As we add another object, and it has a different orientation than the first object, we select a different vanishing point. So in this case, this other vanishing point still lies on the same horizon as the first object does. This is key to allowing the object to be viewed as lying on the same table or the same plane. The second vanishing point for that second object is located somewhere off the page. My lines converge somewhere off the page, but still it would be on that horizon line somewhere to the right. So as I flesh out these two squares, you can see they clearly have a sense that they are laying on the same table or occupying the same space or plane. It's believable that they are lying next to each other, just randomly laying there. I add a little bit of shadow to help define the object. Now I'm going to do a quick sketch that shows the wrong thing to do and how you could easily make a mistake. The first vanishing point is drawn off the page here to the right somewhere, the second one off to the left somewhere. You can see I'm showing how the lines converge somewhere to a vanishing point you can't see. This next object I'm drawing, the vanishing point would be way above the horizon. It would be like the object is tipped up in space. Clearly does not look like it's laying down on the table next to the object on the right. I quickly change this by making the vanishing point on the right for this object more closely match the object on the right. So the vanishing point looks like it's somewhere on that horizon. So much more believable. I just want to quickly summarize. When I sketch, all my vanishing points are somewhere off the page. You can't see the horizon line and you can't see the vanishing point, but I know that they're there, and all those lines converge to make a nice, simple perspective box that's believable, that allows the user to understand that there's an object in front of them represented in drawing of a 3D object. Now let's take what we've learned and apply this to something a little bit more real, an actual product. In this case, I'm going to draw a simple glass bottle. I'm drawing some verticals. They converge at the bottom. You can see the vanishing point is somewhere through my body, through my belly button. The right and the left vanishing point is off the page. I have drawn in the horizon line as reference. I've created this simple box that this bottle will live inside of. I create the box to help me orientate the object in space. Here I draw the bottom of the bottle. It's a cylindrical bottle. I've drawn in a simple ellipse that touches the four sides of the square at the bottom and at the top. The short axis of the ellipse heads towards the perspective vanishing point at the bottom of the page or somewhere behind me. I draw in a series of other ellipses freehand to sort of show the section lines of the bottle. I've drawn a cap on the bottle at the top that you can kind of see to make the object a little bit more realistic. And so with some very simple lines, I'm able to draw an object inside of a box quickly and easily. Here, I'm just showing how ellipses work and how they correlate to the vanishing points off in space. The short axis of the ellipse always goes to one of the vanishing points. So here I'm just marking out how I divide the surface of that square into quarters, and at the points where those segments intersect the side of the box is where the ellipse touches. That's how you can easily rough in an ellipse. And then I just show the short axis of the ellipse, how it goes off to the left vanishing point there for the right wheel, and then the wheel on the left would go off to the vanishing point on the right. So this is a quick demo of perspective and how you can apply it to some basic design sketching. If you like the music in this video, head on over to Mike's website, 𝗓𝗏𝗿𝗏𝗏𝗏. Give him a shout out, let him know that you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. You can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks. Rock on.